Right, so this is a bit of out of the blue, but in a previous video I said about how my green pickup's alternator was packing up, or had packed up. The truck, she's having some issues now. The alternator I fitted 2-3 years ago has just decided to give in on it, so I'll have to change that at some point. It could be the wiring, but I'm pretty sure it's the alternator's packed up, going by what the lights were doing on the dash. I have since replaced the alternator, never recorded it. I tried and the wind kept blowing the thing at the... In the end, I completely gave up with trying to record it, but here is the alternator that came out of it. So, all this is fine, As far as I can see, this is okay. I need to test it still, but I think it's alright. Bearing in mind, I'm someone who knows nothing about alternators, haven't got a clue, just using Google to search things. And what it basically said is I have to test between here and here and see what reading I get, which I can show you now. I'll get absolutely nothing. Okay, so I know this isn't my regular video, but hey-ho, that's what I'm here for, just to do random stuff. Okay, so we have the multimeter. I'll see if I can get it propped up, hopefully, so you can read it. I've only just done all these tests, and because I was so amazed, I thought I better record. Fuck. Thought I would record it. There you go, you can read that. Now, right. So as you can see, what the internet told me is you're meant to be able to go on here and here, and you should get a reading, which at the moment I'm getting absolutely nothing. If I do this, you can see it goes down to 0, which is what it needs to be doing. But if I touch on here, absolutely anywhere, nothing happens whatsoever. So it means there's a break somewhere. I went to the effort of cleaning off these little fittings here to find out which copper ring here goes to this terminal here, and then around the back is the other one, and obviously the bottom one then goes to that one. Now, after looking at it for a while, looking around trying to work out what the problem could be, like I say, I'm not someone who knows these sort of things, I actually found, I got a photograph of how I found it in here. If I can, there you go, it's focusing. So in there you can see that wire that's broke. That actually is meant to be underneath the plastic. Just there you can see the break. Hopefully I'll put a box around it in the video. But yeah, it's broke off under there. So my plan is to just, well, I've pulled the wire up so I can actually see it, making soldering a bit easier, and I'm going to try and just join it back up further up the copper wire. Hopefully that'll work. So that's my next plan now, is to solder it up, and if it works, I'll have a working alternator, which will be nice. Yeah, I did do a time lapse on it, but I was standing in the way for most of it, so it was almost pointless sharing it. But yeah, you can see there where I've just basically I sanded back the wiring up there, and I've just soldered it to it. I could have gone straight to this wire instead, but I've gone. Basically, that wire runs around there, comes back around, and it broke down here, so I've just soldered it back on here. So then technically this piece of plastic's still holding that wire in place, so that I'm assuming it's there for any vibrations. I can only assume, so at least this way it should theoretically keep it good. But now, if we run the test, hold on, there you go. You can just about see, if I go on here and here, just like that, here we go, we got a reading, and I think that's within tolerances. That's allowable 3. Yeah, so all is good now, I think. Just going to check for any shorts, which there is not. So we're looking good. Yeah. So hopefully now I'll get it all back together. The only problem I got now is trying to get those brushes in there to, you know, stay in when I'm trying to put that back in. When I was driving down the road, the alternator light kept flicking on and off, and I was watching the voltage meter, and it was jumping up and down like that when I was driving along. And then it would cut out, you know, the alternator would stop charging. You could hear the blower motor kicking in and out, If I then drop the clutch, basically release the clutch, push down the clutch, and then rev the engine and drop it back in, it would, I think, scare the alternator back into life. But from the looks of it, all I was doing was that wire in there must have just been arcing across enough that it was making power, and then it would burn out, and then it would fuck out. And whenever I was scaring it, I can only assume that wire must have wobbled just a tiny bit and allowed a bit more voltage through. But in the end it completely packed up, and hopefully this will be the mend. Anyway, I'm going to stop rabbiting on and try and get this thing back together. I thought I'll just quickly show you. So, get the torch again. So, if you look where those brushes are down there, if I can get the light in there while showing you, you can see I've wedged an Allen key in there. And I was right, that hole in the back, that goes through to the brushes. So from factory, you just push those brushes back down and put something in there to stop it pushing out, and away you go. So all I've got to do is, well, it's quite simple now. Hopefully we just take this out of the vise. It's not very tight, just enough to hold it, that's all I wanted. Ooh, just fucking heavy. Oh, and it was gripping on there, so that's alright. Pretty sure then we just drop it back in. Pretty sure that's all we got to do. Hang on a minute. Oh, I know for a fact this went in further. Let's give it a bit of a tap. Anyway, then we just pull them out. And just like that, she's back in. So now we'll put it all back together and see if it works. Don't know why I'm sitting as if I'm going away. I'm literally just going to walk over it. Oh, hang on. Here. Pull that bush out. What can you see? Let's lower you down a bit so you can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, so now we just shove this on here. I've got to remember which way up it goes. From the looks of it, the threaded... No, I know, it's this way around. It goes somewhere here. Yep, it's about right. And we just shove the screws back in, and hopefully this will work. I'll have to try to find a drill or something to run it. Hopefully my impact actually might be a better choice. Can you see me? Yep, you can see what I'm doing. Be nice if this is mended. And I've got to look at my dad's one, because this seems to be doing the same, and I suspect it's broken the same spot. Can't be sure on that, but I can only assume. Okay, hopefully it'll spin. Oh, look at that. Almost as if I know what I'm doing. Spins beautifully. Okay. So the thing to do now then is I need to try to find a way of driving it now. Okay, so we've got it back on. So all we've got to do now is line up the pump and get it all bolted in. There's not much more to tell you. So, yeah, that's as far as we're going to get, I think. Sorry, here we go. Sorry about that. So you just screw these back in. And away you go. I'll just clean those splines up a little bit. What we got? These Daihatsu caps are really handy, little tins. All we're going to do now then is test it, which I need my battery and impact gun to do that. Both of which are at the field. Right then, so this is a bit awkward, but I've got it now, so it does charge. So the power's on there. All I need is the wire off of here, so we get a voltage. I have to hold these two on here, which is very awkward. There we go, we got 12 volts, and you'll hear the drill suddenly die down, and the voltage will jump up when the alternator kicks in. There it is. Just like that, we've got 13.2. Let's slow down enough. You can hear it. And I should even be able to pull that off. And it'll keep charging. It's just the alternator now just being a cunt. But that will now, as you can hear, not doing anything. Hang on. Oh, as you can hear, that's not doing anything. As soon as I put this on here, there you go. And my battery died on here. But you can see that alternator is now working, so I've mended it. I'm quite happy at that. Yeah, and we're just running it off. We're just charging this random battery down here. So I'm just running the jump leads down along there into that battery. But yeah, the fact that I was doing that, it's all good. So that's now mended.